I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Good evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Producer Kate is at the controls like normal, doing her thing. Literally just a few moments ago as we started to come on, my stomach started kind of hurting a little bit. So I'm being calm and cool and trying to get that to go away. Generally what will happen is, as I feel like I'm going to get sick, I'm like, get into the show. Hello, we're live. What are we doing? What are you doing? You're standing there. Yes? Yeah, what do you need? Yes. I'll get with you. It is what it is. I don't know. I need a light out there. Oh, well, all right. Let's get into it, folks. I'm trying to get myself ready to rock and roll. Okay. So here's the deal, folks. It's going crazy. Has anybody heard? I kind of thought that today was going to be rather smooth after the excitement of yesterday, but I should have known better. I should have known that it would not have gotten any smoother, really. And honestly, it's gotten even more crazy. If I just all of a sudden go to camera off, understand that it's because I'm off screen throwing up. So just mind that. Kate just walked away from the controls, so she will be back in a moment, but hopefully she'll be able to help if we are getting gonna get sick here. I will know soon, but I do want to talk to you guys about what a weird way to start the show. I do want to talk to you about what's been going on today, because there's been total chaos. We are, of course, ladies and gentlemen, 12 days out from the general election. That's like 2 sets of 6. 2 sets of 6, like 6 days and 6 days, and the election will be here. Mind-boggling. Literally mind-boggling. That's really crazy. Early voting is still plugging away, and we are averaging crazy numbers, at least here in Delaware County. Let's see what the last thing said here. What, GW, what is going on? I mean, I don't want to get like too into the personal health issue, but is he sick? He's sick, right? GW. Yeah, I must have ate a bad batch of trunk shrimp today. So, okay, while this is what a we could just end the show and start again. Yeah, shoot me a text. That'd be better. There's probably nothing here for you to like, but if you would like it, that would be fantastic. If not, that's okay. Okay, so as we thought last night, basically all of the various city politicos ran off to their separate corners today to try to figure out what would be going on. And in that, man, we might have to end the show. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to just hold it with us. So Kate, is there any way possible that I can send you that Indiana code and you can pull it up so we can put it on the screen?
Yeah. And if you need to step out for a few minutes, I can talk about the Indiana code while you're occupied.
Yeah, let me send you that code and let me do that. And then that way,
and I could talk about why we screwed up a little bit last night.
Yeah. And in all fairness, I did reach out. So I do want to tell everybody, as we're saying, I did reach out to the DLGF today, and so I did hear from the DLGF. Hello, kid.
Come here.
And
we're live. You could say hi to everybody.
We're live to the world. Hi. So I did reach out to the DLGF today, and they did assist us a little bit with some stuff. And along with that, I also talked to the attorney for the city council, and so we got this verified. And so okay, I just sent that to you. Okay, so fantastic. Yes, if you could pull that up and just cover that for a minute, I will be right back. I'm going to go and try to take like something to coat my stomach. I'll be right back, folks.
Absolutely no problem at all. So we had a little bit of discussion last night regarding the, oh, that's not any help, Christopher.
No, we're not working.
And here comes my husband. So we had some discussion last night about the issue of the veto of the city budget, and the mayor needed to veto it, and there being a time crunch and all that stuff. So the new budget, the 2024 budget. And that was part of the concern, was that it wasn't going to, the timeline was going to be a problem, that he could veto it and they would have to pull an emergency meeting to be able to override the veto and all of that stuff. So they actually did some, Christopher did call the DLGF, the Department of Local Government Finance, and they actually sent him Indiana code regarding that. Why is it being, because it hates me. So he sent me the exact code, but it doesn't. 6-1.1-17-52, which is the Indiana code for regarding a veto of an ordinance to fix the city budget, tax rate, or tax levy. And the gist of that one is that, yes, now we understand the code better. That's right, Alva. So we have the code now, and it is what I just read, because it's gone now and I have to go look at it again because I don't remember. It's Indiana Code 6-1.1-17-5.2. And of course, Google is wonderful when you try to put in numbers. It tries to like calculate it out for you instead of anything else. But so Christopher, being Christopher, found it for us. So it's Indiana Code. And what this says is that if an ordinance to fix a city is vetoed by the city executive or considered vetoed because remember, if he doesn't sign it for 10 days, that's considered a veto of it. And the veto date is effective on a date later than October 1st. The city's legislative body has 30 days from the effective date of the veto to override the veto in accordance with Indiana Code, blah, 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 to fix the budget, tax rate, and tax levy for the ensuing budget year. So in his conversation with the DLGF, they gave him this code and explained that under this code, this was added in 2019 to Indiana Code. It was revised. And so this is added, and this says that if there is the veto and it falls after, where the next city council meeting would be, November 3rd or whatever, before they could override the budget, that's fine. As long as in their next meeting, they override that veto, then the budget can be submitted. It will be submitted and considered as being submitted in a timely fashion. So they will not have to hold an emergency meeting if the mayor does decide to veto this. There's not the time crunch there. So it's kind of an automatic extension in the case of a veto. They don't have to apply for one. So it's a little bit different. So the hard deadline that we were going on last night in the case of a veto doesn't exist. So that makes things a little bit easier. So hopefully that makes sense. And we're sorry for that error. We screw up every now and again, but we do like to try to make sure that we're, correcting that when we do things wrong.
Yeah.
Was that a good enough explanation, Christopher?
Yeah, that was perfect. That was quite perfect. And
okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you're back. You feel better now?
Yeah, I think we might be able to deep breathe our way through this. So
okay.
Yeah, thank you, Kate. Yeah, so I apologize about that, folks. I just needed to take some breath and take a little bit of intro there to kind of coat the stomach. Okay, so there is no. So I mean, yes and no. So the hard deadline for basically, like, here's the deal. For any government that did their budget stuff 2 weeks ago, the hard deadline is 11:59 on October 31st. They have to have their stuff in by then. If not, they're screwed. If there is a situation in which a city council adopts the budget after October 30th, after October 1st, and say then they present the budget to the mayor on the 2nd. Or in this case, we did ours. We adopted ours on the 23rd, and they presented it to him then today. If he vetoes that, we then are allowed by law for the council to go to their next regularly stated meeting, which will be Monday, November 4th, the night before Election Day, and they can act accordingly, and I'm certain they would. Now, I will tell you, along with contacting the DLGF, I also contacted a couple different sources within city of Muncie government. And what I was told today was, first, I was told that everything was pretty smooth, everybody was going along well, and there was no issue. Then I was told that people were kind of freaking out. Now, quite early, a rumor started floating around that the deputy mayor was going to take a position with the Muncie Sanitary District, meaning he would leave the position of deputy mayor to take a position in the sanitary district, which, from my belief, there is an opening in the sanitary district. I don't know if it's the administrator. I believe that there might be an administrator spot open. But remember, folks, there was also an HR position that the sanitary district is looking for. And everyone might say, well, HR, but you've got to remember back to the Muncie politics of yesteryear and remember that during Dan Cannon's 3-year term as mayor, Richard Ivey was his HR director. So he has experience. I don't know how good he is at it. I don't know if he's got everything on lock the way that he probably should, but one way or another, he does have experience with HR. So if he did that, that would essentially move him out of the category of appointment because of a military role. He would be able to have that job until he screwed it up and got fired, or he walked away from it, basically, is how that would be handled. So he could do that, and then he wouldn't have to worry about Dan running again or the council funding anything, because the Muncie Sanitary District is a different animal. That's rumor number one. Rumor number two. Rumor number two is that the mayor is in the process of doing some combination of things. Now, keep in mind, the city council yesterday voted to defund the mayor's deputy, the deputy mayor, the controller's deputy, the deputy controller, and the communications director. Now, a lot of people, I like Richard Ivey as a person, but he does nothing as deputy mayor. That's a position that is not needed. I am not a big fan of Matt Wegley, and I don't like the way that the Wegleys roll things up there, and that's they're kind of in charge. But I will tell you something that is kind of counterintuitive to my thought there. I feel like I would like Wegley better if Craig Wright was terminated by the mayor, let go if he found a new job. I do not like Craig Wright. And I feel like in the position of controller, the actual main position, I think, number one, he's smarter at the job than Craig is. And number two, I do think that he would at least be able to, I think he would do the job. Craig is less concerned about the job and more concerned about hiding Dan. and appeasing Dan. And while I think that Wegley does things to, jump on Dan's good side, there is a part of Matt Wegley that he just responds and he just says things. He doesn't care if you like it or not. He'll just say it. So in my position, or in my opinion of a citizen's position, if you ask him questions, he will respond. And so I appreciate that. Craig Wright, on the other hand, is not like that. Now, while we're talking about Craig Wright for 1 second, I do want to talk to you about a moment. And this is something that I've been talking about bringing up for just a moment. But every time I've started to do it, something else has happened. Something else has gotten in the way. And we didn't do it. I want to ask you guys now. It's been a minute since we've watched a Muncie Board of Works meeting here on the channel, and that's just because things have been so crazy. So before we move on any more into the cage match aspect of things, I want to watch this most recent Board of Works meeting that was just conducted this week. It's a quick meeting. We can quickly go through this. I want you guys to watch this, and we'll discuss it. And then I've got something else for you that we've talked about in the past. We'll see how many people recall that. Give me just 1 second. Let me get this pulled up. Ladies and gentlemen, and this is pertinent to what we're currently talking about. This is the Muncie City Board of Works meeting that was just recorded this week.
To COVID too.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the October 23rd meeting of the Muncie Board of Public Works and Safety. If you'd please stand, if you can, to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. It just reminds you of a perfect fall day, doesn't it?
It does.
It's nice out. Could we have roll call, please?
Ted Baker.
I'm present.
Lola Maurer.
Present.
Linda Gregory.
Present.
We have been given the October 16th minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as written and presented to us?
Yes, I would move approval of the October 16th minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay. Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you very much. We have been given the register of claims. We have the privilege of having Mr. Craig Wright, City Controller, to expound on our questions. So,
Not sure how to answer that one.
don't try.
Sent out the claims yesterday afternoon. There is one that I want to point out that I've already been asked about this morning. Is page 1. There is a claim for reimbursements and for $54 a night, and get focus here, 39 cents or 19 cents. I'm sorry. And that was paid. There were 2 receipts that were to Gilman Brothers, and it's for securing up the old Chevy plant and also a parking lot. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions. Not a whole lot on the claims this week. Just we did have our health insurance.
Okay.
Is he okay? He didn't use the word usual.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion to approve the claims?
Move approval of the claims for $1,207,077.
Second.
Okay. Do we have any comments or questions, Linda?
I have none.
Okay.
Plugging
Yeah,
right
yeah,
along.
yeah.
$1 million worth of claims. Now, that's where I want to pause for 1 second, because we've all kind of given Craig a hard time for being kind of blah, kind of boring. And I've said, man, they could bring back Kevin Niemeyer from the Tyler administration. At least he gave us something to look forward to, something new each and every week that he was going to be kind of up at bat. And so I want to, if you don't mind just for a second, I want to take this away and I want to look back into history and I want to show you guys a Muncie Board of Works meeting from December of 2019. And this really has no other value than I have talked about doing this. And I was never wanting to sit back and go through and go all the way back to the meetings until like last weekend or the weekend before I finally did it. And I was like, one of these days, I'm going to show these to the people. So here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Muncie Board of Works meeting from December of 2019. And let's listen in just for a second.
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next, we have the approval of the December 11th, 2019 minutes. I will entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I abstain. Oppose? It's been approved. Next, we have the register of claims.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting ready. You're getting ready to see on the screen the controller at the time. His name was Kevin Niemeyer. And listen to how Kevin comes to the podium.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Kevin Niemeyer, City Controller, Master of Coin, lead guitarist, Jimi Hendrix Experience. We have our
Kevin Niemeyer, City Controller, Master of Coin, lead guitarist with the Jimi Hendrix Experience. And they just roll right on past. No one says anything. No one like says, "Oh, what?" So, but that was just one day. Okay, stay put because there is much more. I want to just show you just a few more of these and show you that this is like this was not just like a one or two-time little deal. This was something that this man literally did each and every time that he was at bat. Okay, so here's the next one. We'll skip through everything. We'll just get straight to the Kevin Niemeyer.
I entertain, first of all, I'll approve.
Aye.
Aye. It has been moved in second and it has been approved. So our next thing that we have on the agenda is the register of claims.
good morning.
Good morning.
Kevin Niemeyer, City Controller, Master of Coin. Glad we finally got a few people here. I thought it was an empty audience.
Now
I
that
have
one,
a regular set of claims.
that was interesting
totaling
because he didn't really say anything.
$992,509.37.
He didn't really say anything that time. I don't know.
EFT payments total.
I don't know if he was sick or broken that day, but okay. This is the Board of Works meeting from all the way back in June 20th. Of 2018. Okay. And we'll listen to how he addresses the Board of Works here.
66,000. Kevin Niemeyer, City Control. Good morning.
Morning.
Kevin Niemeyer, City Controller, Master of Coin. Could we get some background music to play up here? All right. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so he just has a couple of cute little quips, and it's just this man did this from like every week Wednesday, and he would kind of interact. So it's just kind of interesting. And every time, this is of no mind. It's pretty honestly mindless. But there are people that hold these positions that can, from time to time, realize that they can have a little bit of levity. They can kind of smile from time to time. I'm not even a big fan of Kevin Niemeyer. Honestly, we battled quite frequently, but at least he could come up and have a little bit of levity. So I just thought that was interesting. For those of you that are interested in going back and listening to the things, he would say multiple things. The inventor of the paperclip, heating and air AC man, writer of the Mighty Mouse song lyrics. Just he would come up with whatever he said. Also of interest, the totals, in my opinion, that the overall expenditures, now I understand it was several years ago and times are different, seem to be a little bit lower back then, but that's maybe an editorial comment as well. All right, now that we are done with that, we will head back in and listen to the rest of the fairly boring regular meeting from the rest of the Muncie City Board of Works from real life this week.
Good morning there. So thank you very much.
And I will follow up with the individual that
Put that
put
in.
it out. Yeah.
Of course he will.
Well, good. Having no other comments or questions, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Motion carried. We have a new business application for residential handicap parking spot. Ma'am, if you just state your name and then what you're here for, and
Okay.
we'll take care of it.
Sandra Bass, resident at 1311 East Main Street.
No, you don't have to give that.
Since they changed the way the parking is on Main Street, the parking is now on my side of the street, and I'm asking that a handicap parking space be placed there for me.
Do they work with her?
Do you have a handicap space before?
No,
Okay.
it was across the street, and there was a lady who passed that lived across the street, and she also had a handicap sticker, so, yeah.
Do you have any comments or questions? Okay, Linda, or
I move approval of the
Okay, good.
handicap application.
Second.
okay.
Why is
Any other
he
comments or
using a
questions?
cane?
Okay, having none. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you very much. Will she need to pick up paperwork? Okay, we'll sign it. If you just wait a few minutes after the meeting, it won't be long. We'll have a copy for you.
Can you tell me the process? Am I responsible in putting it there? Or?
I believe the street department will put it up now that it's been approved.
Okay, I appreciate you.
We'll take care of you.
Okay,
They're wonderful. They're wonderful people. So
yes, thank you.
thank you very much,
God.
Sandra. We have another item of new business, Prairie Creek bid approval. Dustin Clark.
Okay, let's listen to this.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
This is in reference to a bid that was done at the a bid package that was open on the September 13th meeting. We've had an opportunity to meet with all the evaluators, and they have come back with an approval. So we would like to accept the bid from Flatland Resources,
Of course.
for $370,000 for 50.
And this has been presented. This is the only bid that was presented.
This is the only bid that was presented, correct?
We've tried several times. Yeah.
We've we've explored many avenues, but Flatland does a great job, and we have worked with them in the past. So,
Does this fit within your projected budget of what this was going to cost?
so this should be covered mostly by grants. The small overage will either be done through a give and take on the workload. Now that we have some equipment at Prairie Creek, we might be able to assist to bring it within our own budget, or we'll be able to absorb a small amount of overage.
But the $370,450, was that in line with what you thought it might be?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
what we wanted.
I think we were hoping for 326,000.
Okay.
So this, in the grand scheme of things, by the time you do everything, this really isn't that far off.
Okay.
And this is part of the connection from Cardinal Greenway, right?
Yep. So this will, well, yes, this will be from the southern end of our property, from the multi-use trails going on the northeast side of the reservoir up towards the sailing club.
Okay.
So we'll do that whole next section now.
Okay.
Great.
I just don't even like
I
looking at
move
him.
approval of the request for proposal.
I don't like looking at
I'll
any of these
second.
people,
Okay,
honestly.
great. Do we have any other comments or questions? Okay, having none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you. The third order of business we have is a street closure for the Whiteley Community Council for a trunk or treat. I think we have Mr. Ken Hudson here.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Ken
We're gonna do
Hudson, 405 West Kings Row
Okay.
Street, Muncie, Indiana.
And you are requesting,
I am requesting approval to, thank you.
So timely.
timing is everything.
He never come when you want him, but he always right on time. So Richard is just bringing me the current insurance paperwork is what he's bringing for the organization. So we're looking to do a neighborhood trunk or treat. I apologize for not getting this paperwork in sooner. I just didn't understand. I've never done this before.
What date is
So
the trunk or treat?
say that again.
What date is the trunk or treat?
It's the Friday, the 25th from 5:30 to 7:30, but we will at least need an hour to set up from 4:30 and then probably 30 minutes to tear down. The goal here is to block. It's on Highland and it's one block off from Union Missionary Baptist Church. So we're talking Macedonia and Highland. So you can still drive through Macedonia, but you can't turn left on Highland or right, whichever way you come in. And then there's an L on the next block going to Greater Mount Calvary Church.
Okay.
And so we're looking to extend electricity from Greater Mount Calvary Church. So we'll have cords running across there.
I thought
We'll have a
you were doing
DJ and a
bills.
hayride for kids that are going around the corner there and the trunk or treat that'll take up that L section. And then so we're looking to block the entryway to Brady as you come cross Butler. And then the entryway right there at Highland again. So one block on Highland as you come cross Brady and Highland.
Okay.
So you'll still be able to turn up Brady, but you won't be able to turn left going down Brady going toward Butler, that one block section.
Do you have your own barricades established and everything?
We do. We have cones that we can put out. We will also have Muncie PD cars that will block entrances, and they're participating in a trunk or treat. And then we've also been told that we will receive a fire truck that'll block one of the
Pause this.
entrances, and the firemen will.
Honestly, I'm bored with this. I'm now reading the comments. I'm done. Matter of fact, here, go back and watch that if you want to watch it. They already did the claims. Everything else, they prove it. It is what it is. What are you guys talking about here in the comments? So real quick, this is important. This is really important. Wait, because I didn't get to go to this because there was a mayor or a gubernatorial debate that we were live streaming, and I did that. So there was a solar meeting tonight. Are you saying, GW, that, or someone, David LaRue or whoever, are you saying that they said not to record that meeting for some reason? Is that what you're claiming? Why would they? Did they say why they did not want it recorded? Did they say why they were not wanting it recorded? Yeah, why? Yeah, it would be incriminating. Niles said. That's hilarious. The flyer said no recording. Let me pull this flyer up here just briefly. Let me pull this flyer up. Let me pull this up. And here it is.
Oh, you found, I was going to say it's on Facebook, the agenda flyer. If you look at the fine print, those are in the.
It was on Facebook. I'm looking at it, and I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing any. Where was it out at on Facebook? What actual, like, can you give me a page? Because the thing that I'm seeing does not.
I have it. Give me a second.
You do? Okay, I didn't hear you say that.
I have it, and I'm getting it squared away here. Okay.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, I didn't.
Give me a second. Okay. I'm getting it up in the thing for you.
I had to call and ask if you had to register. Yeah, the thing said that you had to register, but that's nonsense. I mean, I would have just shown up if I knew I wasn't going to be able to go, which sucked because of the gubernatorial debate. But
okay, that one's up in the overlays.
Okay, cool.
And I'm getting that fine print for you too that she's talked that GW.
Intellectual property of our speakers. You know what?
Here it is in bigger letters.
We kindly ask that you refrain from taking video and audio recording during this workshop to respect the intellectual property of our speakers and to maintain a comfortable environment for open and honest discussion. Your cooperation in preserving the integrity of the presentation and ensuring a focus on active participation is greatly appreciated. To hell with that. Now, here's what I have to ask, and I want to ask GW. This is very this is very interesting. Solar meeting at Clinton Hummel's house tomorrow. Bring pew-pews if you come before dark. Also, no recording. That's hilarious. Yeah, Jeff. I actually thought Alva said that. No recording would make me very suspicious. So here's what I don't understand. Can you tell me, GW, how many currently elected officials were there, and who they were, where they were from? Were there county officials? Were there city officials? Specifically, this is what I need to know. Were there enough counselors there from either the city or the county that made it a quorum? They didn't take very many questions. And let me...
Anybody that's interested in listening, we have a link for the audio recording up in the comments for you all. Christopher, I forwarded that to you on Facebook Messenger.
Messenger. Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you. And how long was the meeting overall?
I think they said 2 hours.
Woo-wee. Okay.
And we're getting a comment. Brand, Cantz, Flanagan, Dillon, Overby, and Donati were the ones that GW saw.
Okay, so those are, we got a bunch of candidates. So those aren't specifically current elected officials.
Cantz.
So to Cantz, yeah. So to your understanding, hell, to your understanding, the only elected official there was Matt Cantz. Wow. I mean, good on Cantz. Shame on nearly everybody else. Now, I know for a fact that Ryan Webb was in Chicago, and he's, sadly on his way out. So that is what that is. Play anyway. I'm going to hit the play button here for a second and see what we've got with this. What we've got with this sound. Authorize. Unzip it. Okay. Continue. Whatever. Continue. So, I'm interested in this. This is very interesting. I told a couple of the gals afterwards they needed more Q&A. So, just one more little brief message before we move on back to the main part of what we were going to talk about tonight. Man, I wish I would have went. Number one, GW. Tell me yeah, that was last week. So what was the number one? What was the overall direction of the message? It was pro solar. Is that what I'm gathering? It was like, this is all a great idea, and you should all love this, and everything is wonderful. There's no issue here. Everything is great. Is that what? Is that what I'm taking? Pro Solar, okay, and have a good night, Alva. Take us at our word and don't question it. Yeah. Well, let me tell you this. One of the things that we didn't cover the other day in the Delaware County Council meeting is Ryan Webb's ordinance on the moratorium on tax abatements was voted through on Tuesday in a vote of 7-0. So I second Webb's comment that at least in the outlying areas of Delaware County, solar is dead. Industrial solar. Now, Stumblefoot then says, but it's not dead in the city. And that is true. However, there's not really a way in which I see quote unquote industrial solar happening in the city, just because there's not enough places to technically put what they would be wanting to achieve what they're trying to achieve. They literally need it to be like a massive takeover of everything in order for it to be, something that they are okay with. So, I mean, I commend Counselor Webb for bringing his ordinance forward. I commend the rest of the council for voting on it. I think that this was like Ryan's first big ordinance that they allowed him to like put through. And, not only did it put it through, but he got a second. Not only did he get a second, but he got the initial vote. Not only did he get the initial vote, but he got the passing vote. And, while most people might be like, damn, he was on there for 4 years and he only he had people at his throat, in his way, stopping him from any forward momentum on anything. There's a lot of things that he could have done or that he could have got done, but he was dealing with a very obstructionist type of fellow counselors. They just had no room for him.
To be fair, why did they vote it through? Why?
Well, I mean, they voted it through, number one, in my opinion, because the moratorium is already in place until March, so there's nothing really that would be happening. They're saying that nothing would happen, and they're trying to get brownie points for this election. So they're all just,
thank you.
Yeah, they're all just doing what they can because there's this big election. I don't think that would have happened if we were, say, in January, or if we were in March, if we were 2 years ago. It's very similar to how I looked at the commissioners doing the moratorium that they put in place. That was just a thing to put in place, a mechanism to put in place to stop King from having to listen to all of the people, coming up and questioning him for the remainder of his time in office. And so I'm happy that Ryan put this forward, and it's big props to him. You know, you got to use it how you can use it. And so either way, it is here. It's good. And that can help the people of Delaware County just a little bit more. But I will be expecting the commissioners to approach this decision, this topic, starting in February. Honestly, I want them to get a really good grasp on it before the deadline comes due in March. So I think that Brand has the power behind him to be able to do it. Time will tell. I don't know. So that's that. So very good on Ryan for being able to get that forward and to do that. I am very happy that GW recorded this meeting and that the meeting is out there. Let me ask you guys, is there a wish or a desire for me to upload with GW's permission? I would ask GW's permission. Is there a desire for me to record that audio with a still picture and upload it on the channel? Would you guys want to hear it, or you guys want to just hear it from there? Is there anything that you want? What say you? You guys just want to go and listen to it from how they've done it? You want me to put it up so you guys can hear it? If GW says it's okay, we can do it however you guys want to do it. I generally wouldn't have recorded it with a still picture, but okay, GW says do with it what you want. I appreciate that, GW. If you guys, if the listeners out there want to hear it, I'll put it. I will record it as a just a still picture with audio. I mean, it's not going to be the most. I'm listening to just a piece of it now, and it's recorded in a room.
I don't think people care.
Okay.
Tweak the audio as best as you can. Put a still picture. Put it up.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. I'll put it up, and you can listen to it, or you don't have to listen to it. Either way, and it'll be interesting to see if we get a reach around from the solar people that are like, hey, could you take that down? This is your da. So we'll see what they have to say. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Okay. All right, everyone. Back to the chaos of the day. This has been a weird show. I apologize, but I've been a little under the weather. Okay. So the chaos of today, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute cage match. The city of Muncie is in complete turmoil. The Delaware County Republicans are in complete turmoil. We are 12 days away from the biggest election of our life of all time. 12 days away. And here in the city of Muncie, here in Delaware County, it's like they don't even know. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. Nothing cares. Nothing's happening. They're so worried about being at each other's throat and fighting each other. It's wild and insane. So what I would like to do is now we are going to put up a grouping of pictures here in just a moment. Before we do that, however, I want to read to you the initial post that this is on. So again, understand last night's meeting was, you know, by all accounts, one of the most craziest, quick meetings that I know. And I want to be really clear. I do not think that a lot of the people in the council are engaged or know what's going on half the time. I have talked to sources, and you can take this with a grain of salt. You can believe me. You can not believe me, whatever. I'm just telling you what I heard. I've talked to sources today that are in the know and that know these council people. And what I've got is this was not planned. Last night, when I was at the meeting, when I heard what happened, and when I was doing the show last night, I was under the impression that Nora made the monetary cuts, and then she made the 3 personnel decisions, and she did so without getting her hands dirty. She had one of the fellow Democrats do it. That's Nora's MO. And I guess it's very possible that she still did that and they're just playing this really well. But the people that I talked to today said no. They were aware of 2 amendments. And the 2 amendments that they were aware of was the First Amendment, which was adding the additional papers, that they were aware of that. And when Mason said, "Can I make an amendment?" they were all like, sure. You know, they thought that he was going to say, I would like to take $1,000 from here or $5,000 from here or something to that effect. However, when he says, I would like to make an amendment, I would like to look at line item, the deputy, the deputy mayor, first he said the deputy controller, then he said the deputy mayor. And when he took their line items to 0, I am not lying when I said, like, it stopped me in my tracks. And I looked at Dan Gibson, the city council attorney, and I was like, is that for real? Did that just happen? Even after the meeting, I approached Dan and I said, okay, from your perspective, can you walk me through like what happened? And that's when he told me, and I was like, holy shit, that happened. So when we came home and I was talking to you last night during episode 314, I just assumed this is Nora's doing. Well, today I've talked to enough people and they have said no, that this hit did not come from Nora. It did not come from her. And so, first of all, if that's true, that's a wild story. Second of all, I'm going to double down with what Ryan Webb said last night. The fact that none of the Republicans said anything is wild to me, because you don't have the three outlying votes say, wait a minute, this is too much, or da 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 da. They didn't say any of that. The three Republicans did not say that. Dan Ridenour did not stand up and argue for the people that he wanted, his cohorts, the deputy mayor, the deputy controller, and the communications director. Craig Wright didn't stand up and speak about that. But don't get it twisted. I'm also going to go after the Democrats. The Democrats did not speak either. I would have loved to have heard a reasoning from Harold Mason on why this happened. Why did you why is this a thing? Why is it these three jobs? I have beliefs in my mind, but if you go back to what Andrew Pop said last night, he was hoping that it would have touched more deputies, and that's been something that people have said for quite some time, which was, they need to go through and they need to get rid of all of the positions that Dan has created. And now Dan's not, in charge of creating deputy mayor, the communications director. Those were all jobs that were relatively there, but they were not funded. He actually then had them funded. So the council taking a shot like that, and then no one stepping up to the plate. Excuse me. No one stepping up to the plate to issue any kind of statement is mind-numbing, mind-boggling, mind-blowing to me. So that's interesting, and I think citizens need to look at that. The other thing is that we're now in a position where, we're waiting on Ridenour to make a move. And from what I'm hearing from my sources with inside City Hall and those close to Dan, is that he is going to do something. He's not just going to let it ride out. He's going to do something. The shot clock is now ticking on him. He only has, a certain number of days to make his move. So that will be interesting. And it'll be interesting to see. Now, from what I've heard, everybody in the mayor's circle up there were all pretty much in good moods. They were, carrying on. And so that's interesting. That being said, what goes on in social media is always a little bit different than what goes on in real life. And that, ladies and gentlemen, takes us to what we're going to be talking about now. And that is, obviously, there were people in the administration that were not happy with this. I mean, just that's very clear, okay? So Amber Green posted on Facebook yesterday. I was going to say a few hours ago. Yesterday, she said, if a motion is seconded before the motion is ever read, and each individual is reading from a piece of paper, would that be a script? those that are not capable of forming an original thought are absolutely downright terrified of those that refuse to accept anything less. So she's making some pretty serious allegations there, and I can understand why. What's interesting to me is that there are then 43 comments under that post. And when I click on the post, I can only see 3 comments now. Before we went live, I could only see 1 comment. That means out of those 43 comments, whoever's talking, there's at least a couple people or a couple, the same people making comments over and over that are commenting on there that have me blocked. So I see Amber Green's original post. I see one post from Matt Wegley that says, and the meeting was held at a time other than when was advertised to the public. What happens then? And while I will admit, yes, I think that did happen. They had the meeting that was scheduled for 5:30. It got bumped till 6 o'clock. Now they made that change. They made that change the Monday before, so they did it with plenty enough, time in between. But they didn't go live with it, so it's just a little wonky. Okay. So he said that. There's then Preston Cross Jr., which is the pointy finger guy. And he says, I just heard about all of this like 2 hours ago. Where's he been? He just heard about all of this. I am outraged about it. The Democrat council is worse than terrible. I hope I live long enough to see these people get what they have coming in time. Everything that crooked will be made straight, and everything that is wrong will be made right. I was a voting Democrat long before some of you were born, and I was a Democrat for decades, but they were different then. They had hearts and souls. They don't today. And that's his comments, okay? Now, look, I'm not going to agree or disagree with some of the comments. Some of it I believe and understand, and some of it I don't. I will tell him this. He didn't like the last council either, and it was a different council. So my question to him would be, would he rather have this current council, or would he rather have the Robinson council? That's interesting to me. I would like to know what his take is on that, because now I'm hearing that he doesn't like any of these people. So that's interesting. Okay. With that being said, I do have some really good friends in my life that have decided to share with me what I am missing from the other 40 some comments. And now we are going to take a tour through the other comments that we have missed. All right. So we've got a comment here from Shireen Wegley. Where's the internet outrage for 3 people being cut? Where's the internet outrage for all employee salaries? Okay. Interesting. And in that cutoff, you can see that Belinda Munson had replied. Okay. So she had, obviously said something. So we're gonna go to that now. I want to see which way this goes. Okay. I want to see what's next here. All right. So then, okay. So here's what's next. And I know which way to run that now. Okay, so Shireen's comment, where's the internet outrage for 3 people being cut? Where's the internet outrage for the employee salaries? Joe Ratchford Boyce says exactly, purely a spiteful council. On a high note, there is quite a line to early vote. Hopefully people will be as involved to vote when our next city elections come up. Folks, that's not for like 4 more years. We just did city elections. You mean we're not going to attempt to work with these people, or we're not going to attempt to try to make things better? We're not going to attempt to look at what Dan could have done to bring any of this on? All right. Then Joe said, what happened with the annexation part that was on the agenda? Well, it was annexed through at the first part of the meeting. And I want to be clear, this was not the deal with Farmington and Heron Point and the all of that deal, Westminster Village. That's not this. This was the one little piece of the field that they simply just had to tie up. So it was minor. Okay. Moving on. Shireen says, cut. Employees will end up laid off, and 3 got defunded totally. Okay. Belinda Munson. Amber Green responds to Belinda Munson. There must be another comment that we've not seen yet. Amber says, Belinda, there's a huge difference from not getting a raise and having your position cut is entirely. Belinda Munson says, well, they can pay it out of edit, which is a lot of people thought a lot of people had. Okay. And then we see this interesting interaction. Shireen says, actually, they cannot. Okay. Belinda says, LOL, let's see who else gets paid out of edit. Belinda Munson, I see you, to Amber, I see you deleted my comments. Amber says, Belinda Munson, no, I did not. Your comment makes you look heartless, condescending, and rude. I never delete comments ever, but definitely not when it shows someone else's true colors. And then Amber said, Belinda Munson, it would not be telling me the comment was deleted if I were the one to do it. Looks like you got caught. And she took a picture. Okay. Then Amber says, but here's the reminder for everyone, just to be clear on what you said. Okay. And so I'm going to have to go in and look because I don't know exactly what she said. So we'll look for that here in a second. Shireen Wegley then says, okay, so this, okay. Belinda Munson says, your husband didn't get the raise he wanted. Neither did I. So that's what caused Amber to say there's a huge difference from not getting a raise and having your position cut in its entirety. Okay. So that's that. Now keep in mind, these are all city employees, city officials, and they're all kind of like, coming after one another. Okay. Very, very interesting here. All right. Shireen Wegley laughs at a comment. Belinda says, but what about the part where my budget was ignored by the mayor? Belinda says, not really. Belinda says, look down at the comments. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know why she said great. I love that. The truth is Shireen's mad because her husband doesn't have the salary that she was expecting, and she's the mayor's secretary. Shireen then says in her most bestest, wonderful Christian conservative type of language, what the F are you talking about? Belinda says, oh, I love it when people from the same team start fighting and gouging each other's eyes out because it's just a complete shit show. All right. Keep in mind, these are people who just not too in the distant past were all like, kumbaya, we love everything. Dan Ridenhour is magical. Everything is wonderful. We're all getting paid. Everybody's happy. Trunk shrimp for everybody. Okay. Trunk shrimp for everybody. So Shireen says, no, I sure don't, cause a little 1% doesn't matter. Belinda Munson says, the truth, also the truth, the also truth. Okay. Ugh. The also truth that you're going to delete is that the city administration has changed my budget the last 3 years since Craig Wright has been in charge. Amber Green then says, I haven't deleted shit, Belinda. Oh, God. God. Take your vitriol somewhere else. I didn't have anything to do with your budget. Neither does my position, but because I'm appointed by the mayor, you're going to spew your venom and hope it stings. You need help. I'm truly sorry for everything that has made you into the bitter human that you are, but trying to make other people feel your pain is not going to take yours away. Again, folks, we get into the position here where it's like, who are we rooting for here? Now, you're all aware that personally, I'm friends with Amber Green, but at these moments, I'm not looking at her as my personal friend, Amber Green. I'm looking at her as Amber Green mouthpiece for the mayor. And so this is interesting to me because this is interesting, as we should all be interested in what's happening, because this is like an actual cage match, ladies and gentlemen, which is the name.
It's interesting too, because these three people work in the same building under the same administration. And they need to be able to work together.
Yeah.
But they're spending their time fighting on Facebook. So how much city business is going to get done?
Yeah, right.
If they piss each other off and they won't talk in person.
Yes, it totally. I'm totally there for all of this craziness. This is the WMF, the Wrestling Muncie Federation, and this is very much like, just absolute chaos. Professional wrestling, non-professional wrestling, I guess we could call it. Shireen Wagley from the top rope. Oh my God, Belinda Munson has a chair. This is wild. Belinda
I would
says,
actually probably pay to watch that, actually.
Oh, dude, yeah, me too. Me too. My comment about my budget being altered was deleted. I have screenshots. To be perfectly honest, Matt Wagley should be the controller. That would get rid of a salary. I am in agreement with that. Like, can't we all hug and get along with that? To which Amber says, post them up, crazy pants. Amber, how dare you? Why did you not call her cardboard box? She's only got one nickname. You cannot call her crazy pants. You must say, post them up, cardboard box. Like I said, I haven't deleted anything. Why would I delete the fact that you're willing to make yourself look insane? Dude, this is nuts. As an elected official, anything that I submit needs to be submitted to the Oh, what does it say? What does it say? Department of Legal Guidance as I write it. Oh no! The administration does not do that. Oh my God. But now it's done to them. They're a little bit testy about it, aren't they? Shireen says, nope, could care less, because she knows something's coming. LOL, that's why you and Amber are starting this post. How did the ARP money help you? I get no favors. Oh, no. Shit. I get no favors, not even having cancer. I'm just reading this for the first time, folks. Wow. What does that have to do with being an elected official? What does that have to do with this budget? What? Are we blaming Dan for someone having cancer? Or that's weird. That is just weird. This is a complete shit show, folks. This is listen, I'm blocked from it. I'm blocked from it. Okay? Because Shireen Wegley has me blocked and Belinda Munson has me blocked. So the reason I can't see it is because anything that Belinda posts, I can't see. And anything that Shireen posts, I can't see. So if Belinda makes a post, and even Amber, who I can see, if Amber posts under Belinda's post, I can't see Amber's post. Or if people out here in the wild post under Shireen's, I can't see it. So I can't see it. However, the rest of the world, including a good chunk of the people from Muncie, can see these posts and can see these people talking about this stuff. What does the cancer have to do with it? I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want anyone to have cancer.
Look what I made for you.
What?
Look what I made for you.
Uh-oh. I love it. I love it. Good Lord. That's hilarious, Kate. I don't like Belinda, but I don't want her to have cancer, but I don't know what that post has to do with anything. So that's weird. So on to the next. Belinda, I made a post. Shireen Wegley commented, maybe as an elected official, you should be more worried about the fact that nearly $350,000 was cut from city personnel other than you, myself, or Matt Wegley. Maybe you should be worried that departments with employees from all three unions saw the biggest cuts of the evening. Instead, you are most worried about your 8,000 and are attacking other employees and your constituents, by the way, that have nothing to do with you not getting a raise. You should be ashamed and embarrassed of your behavior right now. To which Belinda writes, delete, LOL. Oh, God. You're just doing what you're paid to do, Belinda says. I'm not paid to have personal Facebook. My opinions here are strictly mine and mine alone. I don't have to be paid to see how out of line you are right now. To which Belinda then says, like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Thursday, Have a great weekend, everyone. I guess she's not going to go to work tomorrow. I guess what she's letting us know is, hey, I didn't get a raise. I ain't going to work tomorrow. To which Amber does remind her it's Thursday, ... Man, Shireen says, reads like a play with names and what to say and when. Not a single original thought. Definitely not with the best intentions of what they were elected to do. Funny, I think I even heard a speech from a couple that never say a single word. The citizens are tired of this kind of stuff. Let me tell you something, Shireen. We didn't have this kind of stuff with Troy Ingram and the last council. Elections have consequences. You guys shouldn't have tried to do what you're trying to do here. You guys shouldn't have done it. We're stuck with this. We all get stuck with it. Now everybody's screwed. Shireen Wagley, one can't even imagine to call a meeting. One can't even manage to call a meeting to order without being nudged by one of the double mints. And I'm assuming that we're calling the double mints Nora and Sarah Gullion. Again, comedy gold. But managed to have completely prepared statement. That is interesting. And then this thing from Preston Cross. So, why was Amber posting on your Facebook page today at 1:30 while she was on the taxpayer's time? It's a good question. Now, very good possibility she could have been at lunch or whatever. I don't know. The people kind of come and go to lunch and do things at different times because their salary. So I don't really know about that. But that is a fair question. That is a fair question. We will have to look at that. I will tell you that I was at City Hall picking up records at about 12:30, and Amber was there when I was there. So she wasn't at lunch at like regular noon. So she very easily could have been at lunch at 1:30. I don't know. I wasn't up there at 1:30. I was up there at 12:30, and I did pick up records. I will tell you something that we're going to talk about at some point, but we're not talking about it today. I did pick up a couple records from City Hall, a couple of interesting records. I even managed. I hit all the government buildings today. I even managed to go to the Delaware County Sheriff's Department for a police report. And we're going to have to talk about what's going on with this police report at some time in the future, too. We're talking about serious stuff. We're talking about police-related stuff. We're talking about red flag laws that have been implemented here in Delaware County. We are talking about 911 calls that have been requested. This is a big deal. Yeah, we might need to do a show tomorrow. Probably so. Yeah, we probably will do a show tomorrow. And there's thousands of things to talk about. So that's the craziness going on at the city. But before we go, don't think it's just the city, because it's not. It's Delaware County too. Remember, Delaware County government is where the Republican Party lies. That's where they all are. Okay. Oh, I'm already past it. I'm just now getting heated up. If we could forget the first 25, 30 minutes of the show and start right now, we could really rock and roll and put out a pretty good show. I do want to show you some pretty important things that I required from the way of what is going on here. Man, it is amazing how quickly I can be inundated by emails. I mean, it is legitimately scary how quickly emails can overtake me. It's really nuts. So the county too is going crazy. They're beside themselves doing nonsense. And I want to walk you through this. So you remember yesterday or the day before when we talked about the fact that the Republican Party is dead and that Ed Carroll killed it. And he was going after Jessica in the meeting, and he was going after Matt Kantz in the meeting, and he was doing all of that stuff publicly that didn't need to be done. The crazy thing was he had already done that all in an email. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have the actual email from Ed Carroll to the people, and I just want to put this in order here first. Give me 1 second. Let me get this put in order. Friday the 18th, Monday the 21st, Monday the 21st, 4:30, Monday the 21st at 2:44 p.m. Okay. September 23rd. September 20. Okay. Uh, 21st. Okay. And then 21st. Okay. So this is what we'll do. Here we go. We'll start here because this is where it starts. That would probably be the best. 20th, 23rd. All right. Let me blow this up so you guys can see it. Interesting. And we'll take a look at what this has to do. Okay. So share this tab instead. Yeah. I have not talked to Catherine yet. No. Okay. So this is an email from Ed Carroll sent to the SBOA counties tracking salary, wage, and longevity cost. Longevity is widely used as the means of separating length of service, tenure, seniority, which would allow for calculating the actual total base salary, wages, and also longevity. Not having a separate line item account code separate from the base wages will prevent the auditor's ability to provide an accurate total of base pay, salary, wages. An ordinance required to establish longevity. Is an ordinance required to establish longevity? Can a separate, different longevity be established for different departments? And so this is a question that he asked of the State Board of Accounts. State Board of Accounts sends back a message to him same day, couple of hours later. Ed, longevity is not part of the base salary. It is an addition to what is already being received. Longevity would be a local decision, and the amount would need to be included in an ordinance or resolution. It would be up to the county if they have longevity for different departments. Okay, so they've answered that question. Ed Carroll then writes back, can the final budget be passing at the last budget hearing, which would include a fund which doesn't exist? I don't, that's just a weird thing. I don't know what earring, can the final budget be passing at the last budget hearing, which would include a fund which doesn't exist? That's a weird ass email. I don't know how they're going to respond to that. Okay. All right. They wrote, Ed, I'm not sure that I'm understanding what you're asking because your email's dumbass. In order to pay longevity, there must be a policy normally included within the county handbook adopted by the commissioners in place. If the policy isn't in place before budget is adopted, then the county may need to ask for an additional appropriations later on. So they said that. Okay. Then Ed, who, let me be clear, Ed has always been called by other people to be, a genius. I think he is a small little vacant house where the light bulb has been turned off or broken and it's just dim inside. I don't think he's a genius. I think he is a dumbass. Okay? Maybe I'm misspelling genius or they're misspelling dumbass, but one of us is greatly confused. He's definitely a bitch. That's no question. Just trying to figure out the spelling of dumbass, because I think myself and or the people that call him genius were spelling something wrong. Okay, so this is then an email that Ed sends to Jessica, Matt, and Ben Freeman and Tanya Dunsmore. That's weird. Why not send it to the entire council? I understand this is the finance committee, but just send it to everyone so we're all in the know. Jessica, I understand the council is considering several requests that have been presented to them by the department heads and elected officials. While I have many observations, these are just a couple at this point. We noted in departments sheriff lit public safety, jail lit public safety. It appears a line is being requested for experience matrix. If experience is the basis, if experience is not the basis for, but the basis for the experience matrix, and it's based on time served as in tenure, the period of time when someone holds a job as defined in Cambridge Dictionary or traditionally known as longevity, then an ordinance shall be adopted by the council. See the State Board of Accounts comments below. Prior to the auditor creating the fund and the fund account line. If the council desires to pass such an ordinance, I would suggest the name Longevity Experience Matrix, and for each longevity using a different name, allowing for easier planning and budgeting purposes. Also, within the communications budget, salaries varied for the same positions. Since the council is considering adopting a job class compensation plan going forward, the open door law, the DOL, I'm sure he means
Department
I don't know
of
what he means.
Labor.
Oh, it is the Department of Labor may have an issue with the varying pay amounts for the same position. However, if this has to do with increased pay for experience, then again, an ordinance shall be adopted in order to create the new fund. Given the above observations and comments verbalized by council members concerning a long-term plan, this does raise a couple of questions of the council. Has a study been conducted to understand the long-term costs of each respective longevity experience matrix plan? Is the council considering a longevity for all employees or pick and choose certain departments. Let me know if you have questions as we are rapidly closing in on October 3rd, on the October 3rd day of budget adoption. I'll be at a conference this week. However, I can be available via the conference call to explain the issue and walk the council through the process needed. Let me know. Thank you, Ed Carroll. Okay, so this was back on September 23rd. Now, bear with me 1 second as we're going to jump to the next email. And bear with me, this all leads somewhere. Okay. That was then October 21st. Okay. October 21. Okay. So now we go to Jessica, who sends an email to all of the council people and Ed. 10/22/24 County Council meeting agenda. Good morning. Attached, you will find a copy of the agenda as it stands right now. If this changes, I will get the updated version to you ASAP. Ben is working on the 2024 give back resolution, and I'm expecting an example encumbrance ordinance will be sent to Ben soon. See you all on Tuesday as we finally wrap up this budget. Yay! Happy Friday, Jess. Okay. Then we have another email from Jessica Piper. Good afternoon. Attached, you will find an updated agenda. We have more ordinances for first reading, 2 pertaining to our to-do list from this budget, and a third about our encumbrance process. See you in the morning at Matt Kantz. Don't forget to send the Finance Committee notes. Okay. That's that. Now we see from Matt Kantz to the rest of the council. Finance Committee notes. He sent it there. Thank you. And so he sends that. All right. So that's what that is. Okay. And we're just getting now. Here is where, ladies and gentlemen, that we go off the tracks. Okay. Bear with me here. Okay. Which one is this? Okay. All right. Here we go. So we open this email up, and this email, ladies and gentlemen, contains what we just read about from Jessica Piper on Friday the 18th to everyone about we're going to wrap this up and yada, yada, yada. Okay. This is where Jessica says, good afternoon, attached, you'll find the thing. And she told Matt Kantz to not forget the Finance Committee notes. Okay. This is where we get an email from Ed Carroll dated October 21st. So this was Monday, This was Monday before the meeting at 4:13 p.m. And he sent it to all of the Delaware County Council. And along with them, he also sends it to Marisha Rittenhouse and Tanya Dunsmore. Okay. And Ed says, Council, with all due respect, I believe this is completely disrespectful of my time, my staff's time, but ultimately just outrageous to have these dropped in the laps of myself and my staff at the 11th hour for a meeting tomorrow morning. Understand, during this budget hearing process, this body has required the auditor's office to spend more than 50 man hours more than we have needed to provide to support the needs of previous budget hearings. This means we have to operate our office with 50 less man hours between now and the end of the year. Then I was told by members of the Finance Committee there is no urgency or decision to adopt ordinances concerning longevity and have not been made aware of an urgency, so I could plan my time accordingly. I am working federal grant requirements and don't have the time to review all of these ordinances by tomorrow morning. I ask that these particular ordinances be removed from the agenda unless you are asking me to voice my concerns in the open meeting. So he's like threatening them. Absolutely like threatening them. So this is a weird thing. And seeing this, man, like this is stuff that in the years past would have never happened. That's exactly right, Kate. That is exactly right. I could see him. Because listen, Ed is definitely not a public servant. Ed is not somebody who is there to do the will of the people. He is a lying, cheating, just sniveling, petulant child who's only concerned about him, and his team. Like, I can commend him a little bit that at least he's, worried somewhat about his team. But I think at the end of the day, he's not really concerned about what his team has to do. He's just using them because it bolsters his allegation more, and it makes more manned hours. And yeah, I could very much see that this is an issue. So again, this just goes back to the fact that we've got Ed Carroll and Jessica Piper, who 6 months ago, a year ago, would absolutely not have taken swipes at each other. They would literally they would have avoided talking rather than doing any of this, but they got along. Everything was hunky-dory. She was his right-hand man or right-hand woman, and everything that she said went, and she could do no wrong. And now, boom, bang, pow, he's ready to call her out, and he's ready to do this in this email, which he knows is requestable, but he's also ready to do it in the open meeting if you force me. And I don't understand. It's like everyone's losing their damn mind. At the end of the day, whether it's Ed Carroll and Jessica Piper and Matt Kantz fighting, or it's Belinda Munson and Amber and Shireen and all of that, these people are losing sight of the bigger picture. They are not there to be worrying about themselves. They are there to be doing the job that we have entrusted them to do. And they fail at that every single time. Every single time. So,
Well, I mean, to be fair though, I mean, if you look at how Ed got the position that he's in, I mean, he never really said that he gave a shit about citizens to, you know, convince citizens that he should have the job. So, I mean, makes sense at least.
Yeah. That is true. The entire auditor's office is those in those meetings. The budget meetings take as long as they take, and those are part of his office's responsibilities. Yeah, at the end of the day, that is true. That is a function of his of Ed and you know, the one or two employees that he has there doing, you know, the running back and forth and being the gopher and doing all that. So, like, you know, okay, I get it. But at the end of the day, folks, this just shows you that these people are coming apart. And, you know, how are citizens supposed to walk into City Hall tomorrow and, you know, believe that they have some kind of complaint? They want to go get a police report and they want to take it up to the mayor and they want him to look at it, or they want him to help pave a road, or they need a handicap placard at their house, or whatever. And you're just walking around City Hall and you run into these people out bickering or fighting, or Belinda's not in because she got all emotional and started, you know, maybe living as an adult who's over 21, sometimes does. And then she's like, all right, screw it, I'm not even going in tomorrow. You know, it all comes back to the fact that elections have consequences. And you're seeing the fallout of this right now. With all due respect means F you. Yeah. Anytime I hear someone say, well, with all due respect, I know that is not what they mean. So, these people are nuts. They're absolutely nuts. So, I would not be surprised if all of them called in tomorrow, just like everything before the butt doesn't. Yes, right. Just like everything before the butt doesn't count. Absolutely. So, folks, what we need to do is watch what goes on in the next couple days. We need to watch and do all of that. I do want to give you one passing thing before we leave. I guess two. Number one, there was a gubernatorial debate tonight. Don did a great job. It basically is in line with the other debates. We have live streamed it on our channel. You can go and you can watch that right after this, or you can watch it tomorrow if you haven't already. So it's definitely worth a watch. Don did well. There were a couple of interesting things made by statements made by everybody. But I will tell you, one of the things that Braun is really starting to do is he is starting to take his hardcore step back from his running mate, from Micah Beckwith. He said in the debate, at least on 2 or 3 different occasions, something to the effect of, something to the effect of like, he is in charge and Beckwith is going to be like relegated over here. And, basically Jennifer was cutting down the Braun Beckwith Braun type of thing. And Braun is I'm paraphrasing, but Braun's like, look, I'm in charge, and the boy wonder's going to be at home, shining the bat poles and stuff like that. So it's not like you don't have to worry about him. And so, I hope, and I put out a tweet during the debate that just asked for all supporters of Beckwith, continue on supporting him, continue to want him to do the best or whatever. But understand, folks, number one, when you go in to vote on Tuesday the 5th or anytime between now and then, when you go in to vote, you're not voting for Beckwith as governor. He's not going to be the governor. He's not going to be the man calling the shots. He's going to play a very small role. So you just have to keep that in mind. All right. For those that are interested in rainwater signs, producer Kate says she still has a few. How do you have more than 2? Okay. Can you save 2 of those from me? And for me, and I might try to slide over by tomorrow or the next day to get those from you. So she says she has 5, which means 3. But if you could do that, I've got 2 good places to put them. If you could do that. So, that's exactly right. Well, Braun and Beckwith are too focused on attacking Rainwater for being an average person. They are forgetting to call out McCormick. And I've never seen a more discombobulated team running before than what is going on with Braun and Beckwith. Yeah, they've been on this bus tour for a week now, 3, 4, 5 days. And they've posted a couple pictures, and it looks like those pictures from, like when you were back in high school and you were like friends with a couple different people, and there was like girls and guys in the group, and one of the guys had a crush on the girl, and he always wanted to be around her and wanted to be in pictures and wanted to do all this, but the girl wanted nothing to do with him, only was like cool with him as like a friend. She put him in the friend zone. And every time they like take pictures, like the guy's like hanging on the girl and the girl's like backing away. That is Beckwith and Braun. Very crazy. Very crazy. So time will tell, folks. Time will tell. All right. I want to apologize for kind of having a discombobulated show. I've been kind of blah, but we did get through it. I do want to let you know, as we're leaving, that I did get some record requests from the city of Muncie today, pertaining to the annex, not the small one that they did. Let me see here. Not the small annexation that they passed through yesterday, but involving the big annexation from that they're currently still working on. So we have those records to go over, and we also have another situation in which something is happening. I made mention to it earlier. It's this police report. But I need to get some more documents relating to this before we go through it. But you guys will be interested. We also have some Sproles news. We'll cover Sproles tomorrow. Too. We don't have enough to do a whole show of Sproles, but we do have some news to kind of whet everybody's appetite. So we will cover that. So tune in tomorrow, Friday evening, episode 316. We'll do a good show. It'll make up for tonight. Share the show. It was a great show. Like the show anyways. They can't all be bangers. You still got great information. Even when I'm sick, throwing up, and on the last leg, we still bring you at least a C- show. So give us a like if you could. We would be so thrilled. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you very much. A big shout out to producer Kate. And we will see you all back here tomorrow for a very special Friday night episode. And until then, you guys have a good one. Good night. Goodbye. God bless.